All right, today we're going to do something a little different. We are diving deep into a prophecy of total silence, and we're going to do it by unpacking one single, super dense verse from the book of Revelation. It's all about the fall of this huge system, but it doesn't end with a bang. It ends with silence, a really profound final silence. So I want you to listen really closely to these words from Revelation chapter 18, verse 22. And the voice of harpers and musicians and of pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. Yeah, that's not a suggestion. That is an absolute final declaration. So you can see this is about way more than just a city going quiet. The language here, it's like a divine judgment call. It's the sound of a whole spiritual system just being shut down. Finito. So the real question we've got to ask is, what is actually being wiped out here, piece by piece? Okay, and this is where it gets really fascinating. If you look at the original Greek, the verse uses this phrase, ou me. And in Greek, that's basically the strongest no you can possibly get. It's not just saying, hey, this won't happen. It's saying this will never, ever happen again. By any means, it's totally irreversible. So with that weight in mind, let's break down these three huge silences one by one. So first up is the music. The first great silence is the end of all music. But, we're not talking about a party ending here. This is about silencing something very, very specific. So the prophecy gets super specific, right? It names harpers, musicians, pipers, trumpeters. Now for us today, that just sounds like, a festival got canceled. But back then, in the world of the Old Covenant, those instruments, they were the heartbeat of worship in the temple, the formal, organized, official worship. And that Greek word for musicians, musikon, it's not talking about some guy playing on a street corner for a few coins. No. These were official roles, like deeply woven into the temple's liturgy. Their whole job was to lead the nation in praise to God. So when their music stops, forever, it means that the genuine collective praise inside that entire religious system is just gone, wiped out. And this is where you really see the stark contrast. If you go back to 2 Chronicles, it says that when the temple was first dedicated, the music was so unified, the trumpeters and singers were as one, that God's glory literally filled the house like a cloud. I mean, can you imagine? It was this living, breathing, powerful sound. What Revelation is describing is the polar opposite, a totally forsaken sanctuary. The glory is gone. And for a lot of people, this isn't just symbolic. It points to a real historical moment, 70 AD, when the Romans destroyed the Second Temple. All of that vibrant worship, it was in fact silenced for good. Okay, so this prophecy is just building, layer on layer. We've gone from the sound of worship, and now the silence is spreading to the act of building for worship itself. And again, just listen to how absolute this language is. No craftsman of whatsoever craft he be. This isn't just saying the economy is tanking. No, this is targeting a very specific kind of work and saying it's over permanently. So let's look at the Greek word again. The word for craftsman here is technikitis. Now, this word is a huge clue because it directly connects back to the book of Exodus, to guys like Bezalel, these amazing artisans who were literally filled with the Spirit of God specifically to build the tabernacle and all its holy objects, the altars, the veils, the candlesticks, everything that was designed to host God's presence on earth. So you see the point, right? The silence of the craftsman means the end of building these physical, man-made systems for worship. That whole project, constructing temples, tabernacles, all of it, which was once this incredible spirit-led thing, is now being declared done, finished. God is basically saying, we're moving on from that model entirely. All right, so the final silence in this verse is maybe the most profound of all, because it zooms in from this big corporate worship, past the construction, all the way down to the sound of daily personal life and devotion. The sound of a millstone. I mean, that's about as mundane and everyday as it gets, right? But it's silence. That represents the shutdown of the entire sacrificial system. See, back in the Old Covenant, the grain offering was a huge deal. It was a daily thing, this act of showing you depended on God. And what's at the very heart of that process? A millstone, grinding the grain into the fine flour that would be offered at the temple. That sound, that was the sound of daily preparation for sacrifice. So why does the grinding stop? Well, because the whole need for these repeated, imperfect offerings is over. The millstone becomes obsolete. Why? Because of the one perfect offering of Jesus, who is called the true bread of life. The book of Hebrews puts it perfectly. His sacrifice was once for all. There's just no need for that daily grind of the old system anymore. It's been fulfilled. Okay, so let's pull this all together. We have the music silenced, the sacred construction has stopped, the daily offerings are over. What is all of this pointing to? This isn't just about an ending, right? It's a huge transition. And this table really lays out that great shift perfectly. On one hand, you have the old system. The prophecy calls it Babylon, kind of symbolically, because it had become this corrupted external thing. It was all about a physical place, the temple, with outward rituals and repeated offerings. But what replaces it? The new covenant. And it's totally different. It's a spiritual house made of people, of living stones. It's focused on inward power, not outward shows. And the worship is done in spirit and in truth. And that right there is the ultimate takeaway from all of this. The silence in Revelation 18 isn't emptiness. It's not a void. It's more like clearing the stage. You have to end the old show to make room for the new one. And this new kind of worship is more direct, it's more powerful, and it doesn't come from harps or craftsmen or millstones. It comes straight from the heart. So I want to leave you with this final thought, this one question to chew on. This verse shows us that even the most elaborate, most beautiful, even God-ordained system of worship can be silenced. So if all of that can just be erased, it really forces us to ask, what does genuine worship actually sound like today?